Welcome. Welcome to the stone hands, to the hands of stone. Today we will delve into the tales of Tolkien and understanding the Finnic relationship between them, or why his spirit was emerged by our mythology, our stories of creation from the north, from the Finnic people, who are the ancient sea people and ancient forest people. The Tolkien saw the forest as a secret place, a dwelling, a hideout, and a place of great wisdom and a great progress. As our tales about Hyperborea, the Ultima Thule, tell that there was a great civilization in the midst of the forest, and there were people in the crystal mountains and the crystal palaces, but also in the quiet forest dwellings, just like the elves and the firstborn in the stories of the Tolkien. Our people did the same, and they dwelled for a long time in the forests, and they were in contact with all the living beings. But as nowadays archaeology is based on ego, archaeologists cannot admit such things, or they cannot find really old wooden structures because they just rot away in the midst of the time. But it's interesting to say that recently in Finland there was found a timber house that was 9,000 years old. That's quite fascinating and interesting. I must say also the way how Tolkien sees and demonizes the modern society, as he sees the Mordor and the Sauron and also the Saruman, who create industrial hubs where they start creating the almighty progress with the machine. Tolkien was against the machines and the violent progress that humankind was creating during the last century. And now we have gone to a next step. We have become a virtual society. But the ancient people of the forest, they were a holographic society, like the tales of the elves, how they had great vision and they had great knowledge and they had long-spanning lifetimes, like the tales of ancient people who lived for a longer time than nowadays we are living. So it is just a tale that is mixing up, and a tale that is telling a long story about the progress of humankind, or as I have mentioned in previous videos, the younger Dryas theory. But actually I believe it could have been atomic bombs as well that destroyed the previous civilization and created those two ice ages around 12,000 and 15,000 years ago, that there were atomic explosions. But some say it was a meteor that blew through the earth. And we have here in the north our stories. There are quite many meteor craters over places located in the Saaremaa, in different parts of Estonia. And there's this story of a dragon coming from the sky and burning everything down, like Ragnarök in the tales of the Germanic mythology. And as Tolkien was inspired to create his two elven languages, one from the Finnic language, inspired from Kalevala especially, our epos, our mythology, and the second was the Welsh language. So he created two beautiful elven languages, but also he created some basic for the Dwarven and the Rohirrim language, which were based in the Germanic languages and their mythologies. And the Germanic mythology was intertwined with our own Finnic stories, like the great war gods in the later times, but previously they were peace gods, or the giants, as we have long story of the giants who have lived on this land. The previous generations and previous beings who ruled the world. Like in the stories of Olympus. So there's strong evidence, and there are bones found that there have been megalithic civilizations living in this world, and there have been giants actually living around the premises of our Mother Earth. But that's another topic. So the way how Tolkien sees the trees, the talking trees, the shepherd of the trees. Here also we must ask a permission from a tree when we see and want to do something with the tree, or we want to cut the tree down, or we can communicate with the trees. For example, this pine tree, this Scotch pine, who I found here on the beach, is communicating with me all the time, and I am communicating with it. I remember this story when I was in the 2nd grade and we had an English lesson, and our teacher said that all trees and plants are it. And in our language there is no it. Everything is living. All the beings, all the stones, all the plants, all the trees, they are living beings, and we say them in a way. Tema, like he or she. Tema. Tallon, he or she has. So, and the teacher says it has, and I was like, whoa, it cannot have it. What the heck? Because all the trees are living beings. So I was thrown out from the class, and I shouted offensive things at the teacher, and and from that on I remember I have had this feeling for the nature all the time in my life, and I see it a lot in the works of Tolkien. The sadness also, and also there are those evil forests, like the old forest next to the Shire, and I have seen such old forests walking in the premises of Finland. I just go there and it's dark, it's quiet, it's still, it's old, it thinks, it has its own agenda, how it is living and showing its roots. It's like a little bit rude and offensive, even the old forest. And then there are young forests where I have walked and seen them growing and smiling. I have seen forests being cut down during my lifetime, and they are growing back. And we have this special place. We have so many woods around here. When I go to Europe, I see, like I've been to England and Ireland, I'm looking for the forest and I see fields. But those forests that are in Ireland and England, they are so special, or small patches of woods. And they're so beautiful because they have got such huge trees and such beautiful trees. Or when I was in Belgium, I was visiting one friend, and she says like, let's go to a forest. I'm like, whoa, to a forest, let's go. And there were ancient trees, but it was around 2 hectares, this woodland, and we walked through it, and then I asked from her, like, where is the forest? And she's like, we just were in a forest. Okay, and understand, it's different here. You just don't have so many trees as we do. And parks and swamps, yeah, maybe. But yeah, this is this old belief that the trees, they talk to us. And those tales of fairy folk and the ancient folk who habit the land, who were the shepherds, of who were the caretakers of the world in the ancient times, and how they created the world. The stories have always fascinated me, and they find their place in the stories of Tolkien. So it's beautiful to see this creation through the song, like the Valar, who began to sing the song of creation. In our story, there's also it based in a song, like for example, the song of the bird, of the blue bird who comes to the earth, he lays or she lays 3 eggs on the apple tree on a farm or a homestead, and from one tree there's the sky, from the second egg there's the land, and from the third egg everything between. And we have many songs of creation where people or the old people sang to create a world, a void where the creation came out, and we were enriched by the beauty of a song. Like many words, they are onomatopoetic, like sul sul, vul vul, brum brum. We can speak in the sounds of the nature because it's normal for us. Au au, quack quack, crack crack, sitsi sitsi, siri siri. This is the language of poetics. It's a phonetic poetic. It's a phonetic poetic language. And it's beautiful that some parts of this language have been preserved in the great stories from the Middle Earth, from the Middle Times. So I hope you enjoyed, and for more content you can subscribe. I wish you a good day.